The Wilson family thought they were rescuing a lonely shelter dog. But the moment their daughter Mia touched the glass, the strange, hairless animal with golden eyes behaved like it had been waiting for her. Hours later, they learned the truth. Shadow wasn't just a dog. He was a secret. The Wilsons always dreamed of adding a dog to their family. So on a bright morning, they drove to Silver Creek Shelter. Inside the building, surrounded by barking dogs, 7-year-old Mia stopped dead in front of a dim corner cage. A strange, hairless dog stood still as a statue, golden eyes watching her with unnerving focus. Before anyone could react, the latch clicked open by itself, and the dog calmly walked out and sat at Mia's feet. I share new stories here every day, and I would really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and liked my video. Now let's jump back into my story. I'm sure you'll love it if you keep listening till the end and tell me from which part of the world you are watching. This story, I am interested to know how far away this story traveled despite warnings from the shelter worker, Carol. The Wilsons adopted the creature Mia named Shadow. The trip home felt peaceful, but once in the house, Shadow's behavior instantly seemed wrong. He didn't bark, didn't eat, didn't sleep. He paced the windows all night like a silent guard. When police sirens or military sounds came from the TV, Shadow reacted with trained precision, muscles tensed, eyes narrowed, body ready. Days later, the fence behind their house was found forced open. Human boot prints marked the mud. Shadow, unusually alert that night, had growled and lunged toward the woods moments before. The Wilsons filed a police report, but fear settled into their home like smoke. More strange things followed. Shadow ignored dog food but stared at the refrigerator. He sensed visitors minutes before they arrived. And one morning, he blocked Ben from leaving the house, staring at the trees as if detecting an unseen threat. Concerned, the family took him to Dr. Harris for a checkup. There, everything changed. During the scan, the vet discovered a hidden microchip, not a normal pet chip, but a restricted military code. His face strained as he whispered, "This isn't just a dog." Moments later, he called authorities. Police arrived immediately, surrounding the clinic. Officers confronted the family, explaining Shadow's microchip traced back to a shut-down military program, Project Cerberus, an experiment to engineer enhanced canine units with amplified intelligence, precision, and combat instincts. Shadow's golden eyes flicked between the officers, like he understood every word. The officers warned the Wilsons that he wasn't built to live as a family pet. He had been trained for operations, some dangerous enough to injure handlers. Mia hugged him and cried, "He's not a weapon. He's ours." Before arguments could continue, black SUVs screeched into the lot. A different unitrogue, heavily armed, stormed the clinic with orders to retrieve the dog at all costs. The moment Shadow saw them, a buried instinct lit inside him. A flashback hit like lightning. Cold metal kennels, electrodes on his skull, harsh commands. And then one kind scientist, Dr. Evelyn Grant, who freed him when the program was terminated. She'd cut his command link, whispered "run," and died protecting him. Back in the present, Shadow stepped in front of Mia, body rigid. The officers inside the clinic froze. Outside, boots pounded closer. And in that moment, the Wilsons finally understood. Shadow wasn't running from his past. He was preparing to fight it. The rogue Cerberus operatives stormed the vet clinic, but Shadow moved faster. He positioned himself between Mia and the attackers. Growling lowest sound the family had never heard until danger hit the door. Chaos erupted. Officers inside tried to hold the line while the black-clad intruders outside shouted commands to secure the subject. Shadow chose differently. Not to flee. To protect. A flash grenade exploded through the window. Shadow lunged at the first intruder who entered, knocking him flat. A tranquilizer dart grazed his shoulder, but he tore through confusion with almost human focus. The Wilsons crawled behind overturned chairs as officers exchanged fire with the rogue team. Shadow pushed the attackers back long enough for real police to arrive. The intruders fled, dragging their wounded with them, leaving the clinic in ruins. The Wilsons realized that Shadow hadn't attacked randomly. He fought strategically, shielding the children first, then the exits. He had chosen them after the assault. The family returned home under police protection, but fear lingered. 2 days later, Dr. Harris discovered tranquilizer chemicals in Shadow's blood, evidence the rogue team had tried to recapture him before the Wilsons adopted him. Someone had also been dosing him with a chemical that blocked reactivation signals. Someone tried to protect him. That night, 3 vehicles approached the Wilson house. This time, the team wasn't hiding. They demanded Shadow be surrendered, claiming he was government property. When Mr. Wilson refused, they broke windows and breached the door. Shadow fought like a soldier taking bullets, tackling operatives, shielding Mia again and again. The family would have been taken or killed if not for him. Sirens wailed. The true federal agency finally arrived, forcing the rogue team to flee by dawn. The house looked like a war zone. A woman named Special Agent Monroe stepped out of a real government SUV. Explaining the truth, Shadow Designation K907 was the last surviving Cerberus prototype. The rogue team were former operatives trying to use him as a weapon again. Monroe promised protection and acknowledged what Shadow had become, not an asset, but a sentient creature making moral choices. For weeks after, Shadow stayed with the Wilsons under heavy security. But he grew distant, restless, sitting at the fence line each night, staring toward the forest. He seemed to know something the family didn't. His time here was temporary. One morning, Agent Monroe returned. "We're assigning him to a humanitarian division," she said softly. "Search and rescue. Child recovery. Missions only he can do." Mia cried, begging him not to go. Shadow pressed his head against her chest, letting out a soft whine. Then, without hesitation, he stepped into the SUV before the door closed. He met her eyes golden, warm. Promising, a year passed. The Wilsons received a letter. Shadow had rescued 4 children from earthquake rubble in Chile. Attached was a photo Shadow covered in dust, standing protectively with rescued kids leaning against him. "He didn't forget us," Mia whispered. That night, as stars shimmered across the sky, a gentle breeze passed through the open window. And carried on that wind, faint and distant, was a soft bark. Shadow was far away. But he had never left them. Thanks for watching till end. Please like and subscribe my channel. I will be very thankful to you.